Good morning, good morning, good morning, good afternoon, brothers. Depending on where you're at right now. Welcome back to Black Men's Congregation, where two well-established gentlemen sit down every weekend early, and we have a heart-to-heart discussion with ourselves, with you, and any other black men willing to tune in on discussions, topics that we need to speak on. Something to help us get ready for the next week, to help us reestablish our faith in ourselves as being black men. I thank you for joining us today. I ask you to please, if you have any comments, please put them into the comments. Me and Man of Tomorrow will gladly read over them. If you have any kind of questions to ask us, please, you see the email in the description below. Put in your question in the email. We will gladly respond right back to you and actually answer in a time orderly fashion. Also, along with that, we have the Black Male Talk. We also have the podcast, the Negro Shade Radio. I know we've been a lot busy because we have a lot of new functions going on, and we had a lot of new networks that we are building up and establishing. So that way, you men can have the best sources and resources available to you as black men. So, with no further ado, brothers, I pass it on over to the godfather of the Manosphere, Man of Tomorrow. Man of Tomorrow, good afternoon. Let's kick it off.
All
Today's
right,
top. Go ahead.
all right. Good morning, brothers. This is a very important topic of discussion that we have here. You need to ask her, how are you benefiting? Now, I understand what you may think about this, but look, she's with you. She's definitely benefiting somehow. Otherwise, she wouldn't be with you. So it's not anything wrong with asking the question in reverse. How are you benefiting me? Now, this is very important, and you need to understand how she has benefiting you. Because quite likely, you probably need to be away from this person, depending on how they ask questions. Because over here at the BMC, we don't hold women around for sexual purposes. That's ridiculous and that's crazy and that's risky. And that's something that we just don't want you to do. So you can go listen to a whole bunch of other channels if that's what you're so interested. But in order for you to be a man, in order for you to have order in your life, everything has to be in specific places that you have to make sure that it's in order. For example, your woman should have a job, she should have a schedule that you put together for her to be able to accomplish things for you no matter what it is. And you have to know that she's actively doing things in your favor and for you and thanking you for your protection and the resources that you provide. That's why it's seriously important to always ask, if not direct her in, because if she can't answer the question, then that means that you're not putting her in a position to benefit you, which is different. So a lot of, especially a lot of women in most of these Western cultures, they really think that the only thing they have to do is just simply be there, and that's all they have to do. But I'm just telling you that that's not how I want y'all operating. And there's nothing wrong with asking, because if it's anything other than just sex, then dude, you need to be out of it. Because just having sex with somebody and all of a sudden you have a child, and then now she can't be an appropriate mother because you didn't vet her correctly. See, you didn't ask the question, because answering that question will let her know how close does she need to be with you in this relationship. And if her answer is just clearly nothing, then the problem is with you. So you have to understand that. You have to make sure that she's providing something to the household, that she is not just taking what you got. She's actually giving something to the relationship because her job is actually also to provide. Like your job is to provide in one way, her job is to provide in a multitude. And that's why you start with the very important question of how are you benefiting me? Joe?
Okay. Because we want to make sure that y'all starting y'all week right, and MOT is already going in. Because we want you brothers to understand this is something that is vaguely passed up. When I say passed up, we're not seeing you men ask these questions, but if you were, y'all, we wouldn't see a lot of men in the predicament that we see them in now. So we know the question is not truly being asked. When you go to the store and you're looking for, the best product to help you or the best tool for the job, you're looking for how can this tool help me? How can it be less of a stress? I don't want to have to get some screws to hammer into a board. You go get nails. And the thing about it is we need to stop shopping with just our eyes, but actually start shopping with our mind. We need to start shopping with logic. We got to ask these questions. You got to sometimes, and if it's not taken to you asking type of question because she's already assessing how you will benefit to her. This is true. A woman is already sizing you up, your stats, just like how they do on football on ESPN when they doing the breakdown. They're sizing up the player's speed, his strength, his distance, what can he do, his record. They're sizing that man up. And that is what you as men, you black men, you need to start doing. You need to start being accountable and asking for the accountability check. Because you already understand you have to be accountable and provide for yourself. This is the law of being a man. There is no other law that says that you can lay on your back and that the world will come to you. So you need to understand that, listen, if you really want the best out of this person, because you need to ask her, how can you truly get me to the next level? Because I'm already getting there on my own. I'm not going to put my car on brake and still keep hitting the gas. That's illogical. That doesn't make any sense. But you need to ask her, how can you make this ride a lot more easier? Because I'm already going to make this ride work. MOT said something that's very factual, and I got to call out a lot of you brothers. You need to ask her, what can you provide? And we're not talking about the bedroom. What is your credit report? What do you do for work? How long do you plan on being there? What is your next career goal in the next 5 to 10 years? These are questions you should already know that you should be able to ask her. When you're laying up at night by yourself, you should already be willing to ask the same things that you would ask of you and other black men around you. You should be asking her. Because you're not trying to go in the negative. I don't think that's the job. But you need to ask her, how can you make sure that we stay in the positive? It is not your job to carry her. I don't know where this philosophy came from that it's your job to carry her and whatever she brings to the relationship. That is not your job. Your job is to say, listen, what are you bringing to me? Not to hinder me, but to be a blessing of me. But if you're not, I need to cut you loose. Thank you for the good night stand. Hey, here's some money. We might go out to eat, but it goes no further than this. MOT?
Yeah. The reason why you're asking these questions is to protect your long-term interests, and you better have some long-term interests. Because a lot of people think in some of these environments that all they have to do is lay up and catch a kid, then move on to the next guy. and you don't want to be caught up in that situation. So once you have these things in mind and that you already have a plan for it. Because asking most women these questions who are not really there for the right thing would really scare them off. And what we want is we want you in the best position possible so that way you can be able to make something of yourself out of it. It's hard enough trying to do it by yourself in society. It's doubly hard if you got somebody pregnant who you had no idea about what type of work they would possibly bring to the table without a kid. Now she has a kid. Now she's doubly anchoring you down. You know, it's just that I see a lot of people caught up in this stuff because they don't ask these simple questions of the women who they're around. And they're like, oh, if I ask her that, then she gets mad and upset. Good. That's what's supposed to happen. You're supposed to make sure that you manage results. That's your job as a man. Everything in your life, your job is to manage results. And a part of her plan is to not have one, and she needs to be the furthest away from you. There's nothing wrong with being by yourself if you ain't got stuff figured out. There's nothing wrong with that. That's probably the best position. But do not keep a woman around for just sexual purposes. If someone is in your life, they better have a plan for being. And you both, like, here's October, here's what you're going to be at in December, and so on. So that way, you know, in a certain degree of certainty, where both of you are going to be. That's why it's good to have those goals and know what the plans are. Because if you're with the wrong person, then, man, look, man, you got to get out of it. It's like the 1980s and early 2000s, man. Hey, man, you got to move different out here. Way different than you've been moving in the past because you ain't got time to be wasting out here on stuff like that. So that's all I got, Joe.
Yeah. And what I want to say to wrap it up is, men, I've been married for over 10 years. In a relationship longer than that. In the 2 years, I worked and busted my behind. 4 years after that, I drove myself. Even when I was with her, I still abstained and actually pushed myself more. Stop trying to rush and get this woman to the bedroom. That's a big problem that we have as men. Rush and get this woman to think. You're in critical thinking mode. And you need to have her understand that, listen, I've been doing this by myself for a long time. I would like to have you accompany me. There's nothing wrong for us as men to want to mate, to want to keep our legacy going. There is nothing wrong with that. I'm not going to shame any of y'all brothers for wanting that. However, you have to protect your legacy. You have to protect your investment. Your woman needs to be your best investment. She can be, or she could be your worst investment. Reason why I say that, but if you mess up, she could take everything you had, worked for 20 years away from you. Me and MOT have seen this. Countless stories. Countless men have talked to us. I've seen men take care of families that are not their own. And a woman does not care that when you get your check, it is not your check. It is her check. Then I have seen women that have helped their man. Listen, baby, I know right now you're working 2 shifts. Listen, how about I pick up the slack so that way you can go to school? So that way you don't have to work 2 jobs. I have seen women do this. However, that is up to you as men to make the proper decision making. Quit trying to put a baby up in every woman that comes by you and says that, oh, you smell nice. We have enough brothers who are already suffering from that. The system does not care. Like MOT was saying, the system has gotten a lot rougher. It does not care to hear about your excuses. Because that judge is going to tell you, well, you should have known. You should have known. Is that not what they say in MOT? You should have known. Yep. And when they say you should have known, that means you should have asked the question. This is why people with legacy, money, resources, they don't just reprocreate with just anybody. They ask questions. When I say questions, I mean they vet that next person. They make their children vet that next person. Why did you bring this person here? Why are they in our house? What do they do? What do their parents do? They ask the lineage background to this person before they even get close to their child, before they get close to them. You may not have the money they got, but dang it, you can do it too. You can need to let them know, listen, either you're going to help me or you need to get out. I'll be alone by myself, but guess what? At least I know I got what I got. Mine is mine. And if a woman gets mad at you asking these type of questions, then that is already an indicator. Why are you always trying to ask me what I'm about? Why are you always trying to put me on the spot? You're right. I'm always put you on the spot. Because guess what? Me as a man, I'm always on the spot. If I fall short with society, if I come up lacking, guess what? They have no problem calling me out and putting me under the gavel. So you as men, you need to understand this. This is why the Nation of Islam does not let any old woman get with any old man. She has to be willing to submit to his cause to help him with his cause. This is why they make sure that women are educated. I'm not trying to bash at Christianity, but I'm a Christian myself. But I got to keep it real, man. Brothers, y'all, we are not asking enough questions. We think we see a girl with a nice, pretty skirt walking in heels and, oh, Lord, the Lord sent her. No, man. Because even God himself even called out woman. So why can't you? Ain't you a God of your own castle? So call out that woman for the foolery. Stop letting them walk you into all kind of crap. This is what's setting us back as black men. MOT is not going to just let any old woman up in his bedroom and say, oh, this is my castle too. You like, get the fuck out of here. You got to earn this. There's steps to the game, baby. Brothers, if y'all did enjoy the content, please like the video, share the video, support the channel. We're back. We're coming in even stronger, more than ever. We thank y'all guys for coming into the chat. We thank you guys for the likes. We thank you guys. I told you, me and MOT were back. We were busy. Again, we're going to be coming in with even stronger content. We're going to be coming in with things to make you brothers think and make you cringe. If it makes you feel uneasy, that means you got some self-checking to do. We got to stop trying to pussyfoot around, because these black women, these women in general, they're not pussyfooting around with you men. If you coming up lacking, they got no problem cutting your ass. You coming up short with that damn money for what she needs, they got no problem throwing you under the bus. So it's time for you to stand up, dust yourself off, spit the blood out your mouth, and get back in the fight. You want to tell you got anything to say before we leave out?
Yeah, I'm going to have the inaugural Man of Tomorrow show tonight after the O.J. Duke Jackson Sunday Rumble. Hello?
Yeah, I'm right here, brother.
Yeah, I'm going to be starting doing content. The first topic of today is pretty much getting down with brothers, letting them know when is it appropriate to even think about having a child today. That's going to be the topic of discussion on that show. So that way I can have the opening salvo, and then I will need your help in setting that up. So that way I can invite people on, so that way we can have a discussion about this issue. Because
just say when, brother. Just say when.
A lot of men need asking help in determining, like, I don't want no more accidental pregnancies out there. Definitely don't want black men to be having that. I mean, dude, I want y'all to tune in so that way you can take some of these notes down. I don't care how, so that way you can be able to learn about these things, because these are things like what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be tackling topics that people don't talk about, even though it's vitally needed for young men in the world to be trying to be moving. So, and it's going to be the first show on that tonight.
What time you want to do it?
It's going to be after the O'Shea Duke Jackson show, because I'm on Sunday Rumble today.
Okay, I'll be there for that. I'll be there for all that.
All right, cool. So that's what I'm gonna do. But that's a vital topic, because I've been writing a lot lately. So
I've seen you. I've seen you've been writing in that notebook. So I'm curious what you got in that little vault of yours.
Yeah, it's gonna be hard hitting content and information. Nobody is talking. People are hungry for information, but it's just a lot of things that are not being touched on. And people do need that help. It's just I got my thoughts, written down. Just live for like a couple minutes, invite people on and have them kind of discuss it and answer any questions from the chat and just be out. So,
at least 10.
And that's what I really want to do, starting today or tonight.
10 minutes.
Okay. All right, guys. We'll see you guys later, and we got a lot of stuff that we got to get done, especially with the Sunday Rumble and also this show. So we're gonna go ahead and wrap this up. I guess we got a full Sunday to go. All right, guys. Yep. Thank you for joining us. Y'all peace out. Stay well.